So the Marina Mabrey might be the most unlucky player in the entire WNBA.
Did you know Marina may have forced her way off 2 teams already, and now she's trying to make it 3? But this time it's backfiring big time. The Connecticut Sun are putting their foot down and saying enough is enough. They're not letting her go. Anyway, you're probably wondering how bad could be. Well, let me tell you, it's a mess. The Sun have lost all their stars. They're practicing in gyms with birthday parties going on next door, and Mabrey wants out, but she can't leave. It's like a basketball soap opera, and we've got a front row seat to all the drama.
She might legitimately be the most unlucky player in the WNBA.
You know that feeling when you're trapped and can't find a way out? Well, that's exactly what Marina Ma's dealing with right now. She's an escape artist of the WNBA, always finding a way to slip out when things get tough. But this time she's hit a brick wall, and it's got Connecticut Sun written all over.
Because in the last 3 years, she has been in not the greatest win-now situations, and then immediately, in fairness, requested a trade, got out of them. Teams got really good hauls. So the Dallas Wings got an unbelievable haul, sending her to the Chicago Sky. Then the Connecticut Sun gave up a big haul to get her because they thought she was their best chance of winning a ring this year, because they knew everyone was leaving in the offseason.
Let's break it down. May's been bouncing around the league like she's got springs in her shoes. Dallas, nope, Chicago, see you. But now she's in Connecticut. And guess what? The Sun aren't playing her game anymore. They put their foot down, and May's suddenly realizing she's not holding all the cards.
No, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you'll find what you need. Marina Mabrey, she asks for a trade. Request denied.
You might be thinking, what's the big deal? Just trade her and be done with it. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Sun gave up a ton to get in the first place. We're talking draft picks, players, the whole 9 yards. They went all in on her. And now they're looking around their locker room, seeing all their stars gone. And May's Tribal too. Can you blame them for putting up a fight?
Genuinely, I think that they would have made it if she had just played. If she was not injured, they would have made the finals. They would have won a championship. I just think they had the Liberty's number, but obviously didn't work out that way. Duana Bonner's gone to Indiana. To join Caitlin Clark. Alyssa Thomas has gone Phoenix. Dejanay's gone to Dallas, who ironically Marina Mabrey played for before Chicago.
Now, get this, the Suns president, Jennifer Radity, actually called M out. She straight up said, we knew at the time that she had already forced her way out of 2 teams. So it was a bit risky for us to trade for her, but we felt like it was worth it. Talk about not pulling any punches. Rosati is basically saying, yeah, we knew what we were getting into, but we took a chance anyway.
Mabrey has requested a trade. And now, Sun president jabs back at Marina Mabrey and denying trade request. The Suns president isn't adhering to Marina Mabrey's trade request, and threw some harsh words here.
So now MB's stuck between a rock and a hard place. She wants out. But the Sun are saying not so fast. It's like she's been playing musical chairs. And suddenly the music stopped, and she's left without a seat. Can you imagine being in her shoes right now? She's gone from calling shots to being trapped in Connecticut faster than you can say trade request denied.
On February 5th, news broke the Connecticut Sun Guard and elite WNBA sharpshooter Marina Mabrey requested trade. They're all 5 of their starters left. However, a February 18 article conveyed that the Sun aren't going to adhere to Marina Mabrey's trade request. And in asserting her team's trade request denial, Sun president Jennifer Rosati took a dig.
But here's the thing that's really got everyone talking. The Suns roster is looking emptier than a beach in winter. They've lost big names like Alyssa Thomas. And Dee Boner is like someone opened the locker room door, and all the star power just whooshed out. And in the middle of all this chaos, there's M probably feeling like she's on a sinking ship, and someone just took away her life jacket.
We knew at the time she'd already forced her way to 2 teams, so it was a bit risky for her to trade for her, but we felt like it was worth it. Says the signing for Marina Mabrey after Jackson wrote in the Sun. Wrote that the Sun are denying her trade request. Oh, dear Lord.
Now, you might be wondering what's Marwai going to do. Well, she's got 2 choices, and neither one looks like much fun. She can suck it up, put on that Sun jersey, and give her all, or she can try to force their hand, show up at practice with bad attitude, chuck up wild shots in games, basically make herself such a pain that they have no choice but to let her go with a risky move, though. If she goes that route, she might end up hurting her reputation more than helping her chances of a trade.
And Marina Mabrey is looking around in the locker room like Fresh Prince on the final episode. Where's everybody at? I know I asked to be here, but I asked to be in a contender. I asked to be in a winning organization. Yeah, I want out of here. I want out of here, and guess what? Access denied.
And let's not forget the Sun are in a tough spot, too. They've got a player who doesn't want to be their roster that's looking thinner by the day, and a fan base that's probably wondering what the heck is going on. It's like they're trying to put together a puzzle, but half the pieces are missing. And Myra's the corner piece that just won't fit.
Okay, Marina Mabrey does not have to play basketball this year. And I actually mean that. Like, she's probably doing well. For the sake of 200K, like, will she sit out the year?
Now, you might be thinking the Suns' problems can't get any worse, right? Wrong. Imagine trying to run drills while happy birthday blasts in the background. That's not a joke. It's the Suns' daily reality. And it's about to make Myra's situation look like a walk in the park.
The general manager, the president, offers some real stern words for Marina Mabrey. Keeps it all the way 100, but when you own a professional team and you share your gym with a birthday party, I can't take these people serious.
You heard that right. The Connecticut Sun, a professional WNBA team, are sharing their practice space with kids' birthday parties. Can you believe it? These elite athletes are trying to prepare for high-stakes games while dodging balloons and party hats is like something out of a comedy sketch, except it's not funny for players again.
Again, I want to be ahead of the curve. Shout out to Las Vegas. Shout out to Phoenix. I want to be ahead of the curve. I don't want to be playing catch-up. Oh, everybody else is doing it. I might as well do it. No, I want to be a part of an organization that, from the top down, is thinking ahead, thinking... But the Connecticut Sun have been sharing practice gyms with 6-year-olds for the last... And I'm supposed to take this person serious.
Let's break this down. The Sun don't have their own practice facility. They're borrowing space wherever they can get it. We're talking YMCA, community centers, you name it. Sometimes they're on half a court. Because there's another event going on. Can you imagine LeBron James having to practice while kids are blowing out candles next door? That's the Sun's reality.
Okay. There isn't an owner in this league that doesn't think they will need a dedicated practice facility within the next 2 to 3 years to have a W team. Whether they've announced it publicly or not, every owner knows that a reality they're facing.
Now, you might be wondering how bad is it really? Well, picture this. You're a pro athlete trying to perfect your jump shot, and suddenly a bunch of screaming kids run past you chasing a piñata. That's what the Sun players are dealing with. It's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a major disruption to their training routines.
We have a vision for what we want, which is retooling the roster and reset our culture. Fans have had to trust that retooling in a way that in a couple of years they're going to forget this moment.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Jennifer Radity, the Suns president, knows the situation is messed up. She said, I don't think there will be a WNBA team without a new training facility. That's the way it should be by 2028. That's a pretty big statement. It's like she's saying, hey, if we don't fix this soon, we might not even have a team.
The Sun responds. And what do they say? We're not hitting the panic button, Sun President Jennifer Rosati said in a phone interview. We feel good about the moves that we've made. We've been very intentional about our priorities, and by 2028, I don't think there will be a WNBA team without a new training facility. That's the way it should be by 2028. Oh, so we're waiting 3 years. So you're going to get your butt in gear in 3 years. Yeah, a president that doesn't know what they're doing.
And you know who's probably feeling this the most? Marina M. Remember, she's the one who wants out now. You can see why, right? It's not just about basketball anymore. It's about respect, about being treated like a pro athlete. But the Sun, they're not budging. They're keeping Mabrey chode practice conditions and all.
A president that most likely gifted the franchise and is just running it with their head in the clouds. Nice. A president that went to the finals, fired their coach that went to the final, that took them to the finals, and they haven't been back. That president. Oh, okay. You guys, you see how when we use logic to think about these old guard presidents and it's like, oh, so you just don't know what you're doing, but you're the president, so okay. But you're the president, so I'm supposed to take your word.
This isn't just affecting him, though. The whole team's feeling the heat. Imagine trying to build team chemistry when you're constantly being interrupted by party, games. It's like trying to have a serious conversation at a carnival. How are they supposed to focus on their plays when they're worried about tripping over discarded gift weapons?
For Rosati, you have earned the name the babysitter because that's what your organization babysits 5-year-olds at birthday parties. Your organization comes into practice tearing down Transformers-themed decorations.
The worst part, this isn't some temporary situation. This is their everyday reality pro ballers sharing court time with kids' parties. It sounds insane, does it? But for the Sun, it's just another day at the office, if you can even call it.
To rent her for a championship run. Said championship run is over, and now she wants out of it. Let's think of why Marina Mabrey wants out of it. She wanted out of Chicago. Why? Because her coach sucks, and they tanked for useless double-doubles. She wants out of Connecticut. Why? Because they traded away the only thing that she wants to do, compete. They traded away all parts of the puzzle that made that ship work.
You might be thinking, why don't the Sun just let MRY go? Well, this is where things get really interesting. The Sun aren't just holding on to MRY. Because they're stubborn, they're making a stand, and it's shaking up the whole WNBA.
So people have not forgot that Marina Mabrey is basically being told, nah. Marina Mabrey is now, in fact, no longer playing. No longer being traded.
See, the Suns' management is taking a hard line against player power moves. They're worried that if they let him leave just because she wants, it'll open the floodgates. Suddenly, every player who doesn't like their situation might start demanding trades. Can you imagine the chaos?
I would try to get your assets back for you. You don't have your pick this year. I would just try to get her. Try to find some way that you can get her. You can get off her and get your pick back. Like, that's the thing. Like, at least the positive sign is you did so well last year because of the WNBA's 2-year rule that you're only going to be giving up like the 5th pick. So it's not quite as bad as the potential 2027 first pick.
But here's the thing, this decision isn't going over well with everyone. Fans are split right down the middle. Some are cheering the Sun on say it's about time a team stood up to player demands. Others, they're calling a disaster waiting to happen. They're worried this could blow up in the Sun's face and make things even worse.
I don't think the Sun are as bad as people think. Like, if they get a decent power forward in the draft, like they got the 8th pick. So if they can get like Anissa Morrow there, going out with Tina Charles the 5, Anissa Morrow at the 4, Marina Mabrey at the 2, somebody like a Layla Lacan at the 3, and running Tash Cloud at the 1. Like, that's not a bad team. Like, it's not a playoff team. It's not a bad team.
Now, you might be wondering what about the Suns president, what you got to say about all this. Well, let me tell you, Jennifer Rosati isn't pulling any punches. She's been facing some heat for how she's handling things. But she's not backing down. Some people are saying she's out of touch with what players need these days. But Rosati's making it clear she's not here to make friends.
I'm very disappointed in a lot of how agents and GMs have talked about and threatened through this process. Rosati said she said through it all has handled herself with integrity, fairness, and steadiness that I'm not sure that I would have been able to have if I was dealing with some of these people.
But here's where it gets even more complicated. The Suns management is getting slammed from all sides. Fans are furious about how they're handling things. They're saying the team just doesn't get it. They're not listening to what players need, and they're letting things spiral out of control.
Like, I wonder what players not named Layla Lacan and JC Sheldon are going to be on the Connecticut Sun, and whoever they draft this year and that aren't drafted. Like, what free agents are going to decide to play for the Sun? Like, for me, I'm just confused. I'm like, who in their right mind would do this?
So now we got this standoff on one side. We got Ma, who's probably feeling like she's trapped in a nightmare. On the other, we got the Sun digging in their heels. And refusing to budge is like a game of chicken, and nobody wants to blink first.
That's the thing. People do not realize that Marina Mabrey is someone who's made decent money for a while. She's going to continue to make decent money on her next WNBA contract post obviously salary cap boom, post CBA. And she can just refuse to play.
But let's think about this for a second. Is the Suns' strategy really going to work? Sure, they're making a point, but at what cost? They're risking team morale, fan support, and maybe even their reputation in the league. And MRE, she's caught in the middle of all this, probably feeling more frustrated by the day.
Are the Connecticut Sun going to, gonna have her, or she could do a Jimmy Butler. For all we know, she could pull a Jimmy Butler. She could go out there and just start chucking one-leg threes. She could pull a freaking Jimmy Butler.
You gotta wonder what this means for the future of the WNBA. Are we gonna see more teams taking this kind of hard line? Or will players find new ways to push back? It's just like we're watching a whole new playbook being written, and nobody knows how it's going to end.
Again, folks, I don't take half of the execs in the league serious. The old guard, I don't take any of them serious. As far as I'm concerned, They're delusional, don't know what they're doing, and they're part of the reason why the WNBA has been in the broom closet for the last 25 years.
Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun are either going to have to sell their team soon. Like, they have to. They have to sell their team soon. And I mean that. They have to. Like, there's no way the new CBA will allow the Connecticut Sun to keep their team. Like, genuinely, it's madness. It's absolutely madness. And the fact that she went to the media about a trade request means that she's being serious.